too often many of the individuals and agencies don't get enough recognition and enough credit for all they do in our community to keep our community coordinated and safe. You got two organizations. You got the sheriff department, and under the auspices of the sheriff department, you got the neighborhood watch organization that's doing a whole lot of phenomenal things as it relates to addressing community and neighborhood issues. You've also got the crime prevention department that does a whole lot as it relates to keeping the community not only uh, informed on all of the different infractions that are in our community, but also play a role in doing what we can to prevent it. And sometimes we don't realize that we can play a role. You know, we are all vested and invested in our community, and we need to be familiar with and support organizations that deal every day with trying to make this a community better. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex C. Haversham, and I'm so proud to be able to have with us today two public servants in the person of Captain Meadows, who's in charge of the crime prevention department for the Bill County Sheriff Department. Captain, is your first name George?
George.
Yeah, I had it right. Captain George Meadows and Miss. I
Yes,
know
sir.
your first name Judy, and Miss Judy Gordon, who was the neighborhood watch coordinator. So we're gonna start with Captain. Captain, tell us a little bit about what your responsibilities are.
Well, I'm second in charge of the SOS, which is the Sheriff's Outreach Section. So that puts me uh, near the top of a pretty large umbrella. Of course, I'm lucky enough to have Judy Gordon that handles everything. That's like putting a plane on automatic pilot, so I don't have to worry about that at all. But Neighborhood Watch, Business Watch, we do PAL, we do well, I personally, I do the Crime Prevention Network emails, still handling that. Um, we've got champs, we've got so many things and so many big events that we do each year. And hopefully, some of these big events like the Halloween Festival, we call it the Fall Festival, the book bag giveaways, and the Christmas giveaways, really hoping and praying that we get back to normal next year and we can see all our friends like we usually do.
Yeah, and then a lot of people don't realize the value and the importance. And then the thing that bothers me, Captain, is that the more we realize that we are all that all of us can be a part of the solution, I think the better off the whole community can be. So talk a little bit about how the community can play a role in crime prevention.
Community plays a big role each and every day. And back in the early 2000s, we started what we call the email update program. Now it has become what we know as the Crime Prevention Network. And basically, it's a huge network of email participants in Bibb County and some of the contiguous counties and the law enforcement agencies therein. We give out a lot of information as much as we can, specifics on crimes, people that we're looking for, crimes that have occurred in areas in Bibb County and Macon. What we hope to gain from that is knowledge is power. If we educate our team members out there in the community and they know what we're looking for, we have many more thousands of eyes and ears looking for the same thing that we are. So our chances of stopping a criminal from committing another crime go up drastically.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Matter of fact, I don't guess I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't know what bolo meant
Be
until
on
I
the
got
lookout. Yeah.
Be on the lookout. But man, I had no idea. I thought that was some kind of sport, bolo. And but I noticed that, matter of fact, the last thing I saw as it relates to that, and I want to talk about it. And Judah, we're gonna get to you. We're gonna get to neighborhood watch.
Yes,
We
sir.
got time, but this is so important, and it kind of ties in with neighborhood watch because the last thing I saw in that email, and I'm going to encourage everybody uh, to join that email list, and we'll let you give that information before we leave, Captain. But about some kind of incident with a Ford Ranger with a white truck, and it was damage on the back, and asked people to be on the lookout for it. So, have there been much success in assisting you in finding criminals and solving crimes by getting community participation?
Well, yeah, it's funny you should mention that one. That one actually occurred next door to me the other night. So I took a personal interest in finding those. Fortunately, we have some really terrific investigators at the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. I'm so proud to be associated with those guys. We have identified two suspects and hope to be getting some warrants pretty soon. So, yeah, as within minutes after I issued that first bolo, there there was a name and a location. So yeah, very effective, and that has happened since the early 2000s when we first started this program. We started with nothing. We started with no program at all. I went to hundreds of neighborhood watch meetings over the years, and every time I went, it was just old school. Pass the tablet around. Hey, if you want to be on this network, put your name and your location. So basically, we designed it geographically. So we have a group of individuals on the list that are in South Bibb, North Bibb, West Bibb, East Bibb, and we group them that way so we can target those areas if there's something specific to that area, or we can just give it to everyone. But yeah, as speaking to the success, yes, lots of it over the years. Just we get so much help from the public in general.
Hmm.
That's really outstanding. Okay, so I guess I know that the Neighborhood Watch Organization, headed up by the coordinator, Miss Judy Gordon, has been around for a long time. So talk about the function and the mission and the programs associated with Neighborhood Watch. Judy?
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for having me. Actually, it works hand in glove with the Crime Prevention Network and the Crime Prevention Program. Captain Meadows and I, we work very closely in educating the community, not only just criminal aspects of Neighborhood Watch, but we work and partner with every department in Macon Bibb County. So we even touch things such as code enforcement, animal control. We have all of those entities that are very, very useful in preventing crime as well. Because if you educate people on how to have their hedges and their yards groomed where it's not so accessible for criminals to hide or to easily not be seen. I'm sorry, then you have that opportunity to, if we often say, if you see something, hear something, say something. And that's the most important thing. As Captain mentioned earlier, the community, they're the eyes and the ears for the Bibb County Sheriff's Office because definitely cannot be done just solely alone with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
So what is Neighborhood Watch about? Kind of talk about, how it's organized and who can join and how often you meet and things of that nature.
Okay, neighborhood watch is just that. It's
Uh,
neighbors looking out not just for their neighborhood, but for the entire Macon Bibb County. It is open to every resident in Macon Bibb County. We have programs that are covering each side of Macon Bibb, east, north, south, west, South Bibb. We cover all areas. Uh, some of the groups they organize themselves to how it works for them. So the groups are not just it's not a blanket. You can organize and define your group the way you want. So we have some groups that meet monthly. We have some meet every other month. We even have some that may gather for a yearly event. The main thing is just to be able to communicate with Neighborhood Watch, communicate with each other, communicate with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, now let me ask you this. So if in fact there is a community, a neighborhood or a street in which there is not a neighborhood watch, can a neighborhood watch be established for your area?
Oh yes, definitely. We encourage that. We have groups that will form. As a matter of fact, we have one coming up that's revitalizing their neighborhood watch program. So we encourage, and really it's word of mouth. If you see one street starting to do something, then the others want to come on board. And the neighborhood watch chair people, they invite their neighbors to their meetings. We have, because of COVID, we are doing things differently now. We are meeting through Zoom. So we've increased even through that because we're reaching out to other people that may not have even been involved in Neighborhood Watch, but are now comfortable in doing either call ins with us or the Zoom meeting.
I think this is both to you, Miss Gordon, and to Captain. I think people don't realize. I think they just hear the expression. If you see something, say something, but they don't realize how important and impactful that can be. So, Captain, you first, and I know you've kind of mentioned it, but just kind of re-emphasize the role that we all can play if we kind of follow that pattern. If you see something, say something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really crucial for us to have those contacts within the community. Basically, if you live in a certain community, you are familiar with the cars that come and go, the people that belong there, the cars they drive, and you have a very good idea of what is suspicious in your neighborhood. We could send patrol cars. Well, we wish we could send patrol cars through every neighborhood on the hour. Unfortunately, we can't, and that's why we have to multiply our forces by utilizing the people in the community, their eyes and their ears. But we could send those patrol cars through every hour. They would have no idea who belongs there and who doesn't belong there, what's suspicious. But the people that live there, we need their eyes, their ears, and their knowledge. That's why it's so important. It's like I used to tell people in my meetings, if you ever wanted to tell a cop where to go, this is the way to do it. Dial the number 751 7500, report the suspicious activity, give us a description of the car, the person, direction of travel, that sort of thing, and we'll get there as soon as we can. And if you put it on the Crime Prevention Network, then other communities can be alert for the same suspicious activity, the same vehicle, the same persons. That's that's why we have these programs because they work.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ms. Gordon, have you had some experiences with some neighbors and some neighborhood watch members, being involved and being effective in trying to improve their community and make a difference by bolo or other kinds of activities in the community?
If I started naming everything, that'll be a whole nother show. But yes, we have. It has been proven that Neighborhood Watch is successful. And it's because of the partnership and the relationship that is formed with law enforcement and with the community. We have to trust each other. We have to build on that relationship. The community they must feel comfortable in being able to report and not have retaliation, because that's one of the fears. People are slow to report because they fear retaliation. So, as part of the neighborhood watch and as part of the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, we feel that it's our duty to make them feel as comfortable as possible in reporting suspicious activity. You may see something and you may think, well, that's really nothing. But let the trained deputies come out or
Yes.
trained law enforcement come out and determine that. What we ask you to do, we don't ask you to go up and put yourself in harm's way. We want you just to report it. And as Captain said earlier, call that number 478-751-7500. Report any suspicious activity. It may seem little, but you will not believe some of the things that we have, been able to resolve because of that call.
That's outstanding. And then, I mean, isn't it possible to report a crime and and people not know who reported it? I mean, and then I hate it, Captain. And you can kind of mention this, but I don't know why people think that reporting suspicious activity or trying to do something to improve the community is called snitching.
Mm,
Which really has a negative connotation. But I mean, snitching could save somebody's life. Snitching could keep a community safe. Snitching could keep a kid from being run over by a car. So talk about both of you or one of you the fact that it's safe to report. I am not going to call it snitching. I'm going to call it reporting or boloing, So talk a little bit about that. You can do it without your name being revealed.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if there is a problem that exists in your community and you don't say or do anything about it, guess what? That problem is going to continue to exist and it will most likely get worse. You may think, well, that's just two doors down or three doors down. That's somebody else's problem. Let me tell you, when it starts spreading, it's going to be on your doorstep. So now is the time to take the action, use the resources that are available, help us to help you. Let's get rid of that problem before it grows.
Absolutely. And then there's an old saying that goes, you either part of the solution or part of the problem. And
Or you're
it
part of the
seems to me
problem.
that you're implying that if you see something and then you don't report it, some kind of suspicious activity, then we become part of the problem by not reporting it.
that's right.
So
Right.
anything else you'd like to say as it relates to that, Ms. Gordon?
Absolutely. What Captain said, I echo 100%. If you see something, I cannot say that enough. And we don't want it just to be in your neighborhood because you do come outside of those streets. You do go shopping. You do go to the mall. You do go other places to church. If you see something even in those areas that is suspicious, if you see a car that's been in your neighborhood or in your community and you say, oh, that car has been here for a while, that may not seem like anything, but that car could have been a stolen car that
Yeah,
someone has reported and it has yet to be found. So, with that information, and we ask that once you call in, the main thing we want you to do is to give as much information as possible. Any description of a person or a vehicle, whatever is involved in that suspicious activity, the more information that is given to law enforcement, the better.
Cap, talk a little bit how Crime Stoppers work. Has that been much success with that? I think that there have been some serious problems solved with it. So just talk a little bit about Crime Stoppers and the role that it has played in trying to identify culprits in our communities.
Crime Stoppers is one of those programs that also falls under SOS, which is Sheriff's Outreach Section again. Corporal Greg Thomas is our officer in charge of Crime Stoppers for the Sheriff's Office. It's a hugely successful program. And I'll give you an example. The case that you mentioned earlier during this interview, where the white pickup truck next door to me, the two guys were committing a burglary. Well, We got some very good information from Crime Stoppers on that. The plus to that is that, hey, it's anonymous. Make the call, just like Greg says, make the call.
Make the call. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's outstanding. Is there, Judy, you go first. Is there any way that you feel that the community can support what you're doing? You want to kind of give a reach out to the community, for support in any area?
Yes, definitely. We would love for you, if you are a part of Neighborhood Watch, share the information. If you're the only one that's attending the meetings, still let your neighbors know what's going on. If you're receiving the information from us through email, through regular mail, or whatever way that we're sending it out through Zoom, it's important that you share that with your neighbors, even the neighbors that are not active in your Neighborhood Watch program, and encourage them to become a part. They may not want to be able to come to the meetings or not able to due to other commitments, but they can definitely stay informed if you're sharing that information. The other thing we encourage you to please join, become a part of Neighborhood Watch. You can contact me at 478-75. I'm sorry, that's my 478-745-5162 or 478-447-9763 through my email, jgordon, Gordon, at makeandbuild.us. We would love to have you be a part of this program.
And then I guess you can reemphasize that if there's not a neighborhood watch on your street, that one can be a part of the solution by starting one. And the way to start one is to call Judy Gordon, the neighborhood watch coordinator for the Bibb County Sheriff Department. Uh, Captain, talk a little bit more about how people can be involved by signing up for your list, because I mean it's a lot of information. Talk a little bit about all the information that you have on that report that you give out there. And I'm so glad that I saw you over at the chamber one day and told you to sign me up. And and every time I
Yeah, it's
get the
great.
information, every time I get it, I look at it.
Proud.
Because I mean, let me tell everybody something. It's if it is to be, it's up to me.
Mm,
And we all should say that. And if we want to make this community a better community, if we want to reduce crime, if we want to play a role in making it a better community, then we got to be involved. It takes a village.
that's right.
It takes a village. It takes everybody in the community. I bet you we could improve the community by 40% in a few months if we had more conscientiousness on the part of citizens, and I'm sure all of us want that. So, talk a little bit about your report, Captain.
Yeah, the T-shirts we give out says crime prevention team on those, and that's what it is. This is just one big team, and we want to make it bigger. So our program, the email program, is called the Crime Prevention Network, and that's exactly what it is. It's a network of law enforcement, businesses, and the community in general, all working together to make a better Bibb County for all of us. Now, the way you do that is email me, gmeadows at maconbib.us, GMEADOWS at maconbib.us. Put your street that you live on so we'll know which list to put you on. Your name and your email address will pop up on the email, so you don't have to put that in the body of the email. It's the Crime Prevention Network. Email gmeadows at maconbib.us. You'll get a regular list of crimes that occur in Bibb County with an interactive map that you can click on in your area. You'll get a description of what occurred. We also send out lots of video, surveillance stills from crimes, pictures of vehicles that we're looking for, pictures of cars that we're looking for, warnings about crime trends in specific areas or Bibb County in general. It's well worth it. We look forward to expanding our membership, expanding the size of our team.
Well, the information is very valuable because I think at one point you said that auto thefts were going up. So just as a matter of you putting that information out, I became a whole. I try to lock my car every time I get out, but then I really locked it every time I got out as a result of that getting that message from you. So we really appreciate what you're doing as it relates to that, and then we'll stroll this across the stream as it relates to how to join. I'm sure that my producer will do that. Ms. Gordon,
Yes,
you
sir.
you can give your parting comments as it relates to Neighborhood Watch.
But thank you so much for letting us be here today to share this information. Please, we encourage you to be a part of Neighborhood Watch. You design your program. We are just there to be a resource for you, but you are definitely the eyes and the ears for the Macon-Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Thank you so much.
Captain Meadows, you got about 1 minute.
Thank you for having us on today. And again, join the Crime Prevention Network, gmeadows at maconbib.us. Send us the email. We'll get you on there as soon as we can. Looking forward to hearing from the people.
I'm so thankful for the two of you, and thanks for serving. You know, some people think that applies only to military people, but that's not true. You got a whole
Thank
lot
you.
of people in a whole lot of different areas, like Miss Judy Gordon and Captain George Meadows, who are serving this community in order to make it better and safer and more fun and increase and improve the quality of life for all of us. So we really appreciate what you're doing. And as a citizen, and as one who now understands what BOLO means, I want
Until today.
I really want to express my appreciation to you. I have interviewed Captain George Meadows of the Crime Prevention Bureau of the Bibb County Sheriff Department, and Miss Judy Gordon, who's the Neighborhood Watch Coordinator for the Sheriff Department. Thank you all so much. Please continue. And those of you who are listening, if you're in a neighborhood or on the street, that does not have a neighborhood watch program, give Miss Judy a call. And I want everybody to sign up for Captain Meadows' emails because it'll be informative and it'll put you in a position to be knowledgeable and in some instances be able to make a difference. And finally, if you see something, say something, and nobody has to know. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.